Good morning, good evening, or night, depending when you're watching this video. My name is Legend and welcome back to World of Tanks and the NBTT'ay Replay, featuring the best replays of the NBTT clan of each patch. Although this time it was a little bit tricky since the actual replay with the top experience got shared the day before the 1.26 update, so I didn't really have time to record that one. So, well, it isn't that bad because it's again Toby Thomas racking up a ludicrous amount of experience. This time not in a turtle, mind you, but still, well, we know this guy, we know his playstyle. We have something different for you instead. Because we now have MPNL playing in his AMX 1357F. And right away he goes quite aggressively and trades reasonably well with the enemy light tank. But after that instead of going backwards, he goes even further into enemy territory and realizes that wouldn't be that great of an idea. Luckily he didn't get any more damage in from that particular push in further and finishes the job against the enemy 1375. But quite a good showcase how great of a trade-off this is. With the 57 gun you have a lower alpha damage but a faster intra-clip reload with a lot more shells, twice the amount of shells to be more precise. And you saw that the enemy AMX missed one of his shots, so he lost out on some damage that way as well, where if MPNL is missing one shot, he still got 7 other ones. But now he really gets a little bit too overconfident and rushes in far too fast. Also, not using auto aim on the move there meant that he had quite some issues hitting the T-71 right there. And he doesn't really get himself into a favorable location. Luckily, the T-71 has issues of hitting him himself, but this time MPNL is more steady with his aim and also finishes off the T-71, which might have underestimated the quick succession of rounds that was coming his way, which you get with the AMX 1357. But I would have rather not done such a quick move, putting yourself into a crossfire effectively. And if that T-71 was a little bit more careful and would hide his tank a little bit more, a bit quicker, MPNL would be far less comfortable here. But now he is in fact very comfortable here and actually waits quite a while before moving again. During this time he could actually make his way up a little bit slower because his engine is out, but he could have supported his Type 62 tank and still playing quite carefully. So he takes quite the long break here over a full minute, where I would think could have done that a little bit earlier, but maybe he was a little bit too shocked by his first initial push into the enemy backline and wants to compensate by waiting for a longer time to balance his quite aggressive push earlier on out. Now against the artillery he doesn't really properly aim, actually could have hit 2 more shells into that FV over there. Would have been able to finish him off, but he doesn't really take the time to aim. And with a quick intra-clip reload of this tank, the aim speed isn't quick enough to fully regain aim again. After that he repairs his engine and gets back right into the action again and almost crashes himself on the way down from that little cliff. And against the Crusader SP we have another drive-by where he doesn't use auto-aim and misses one of his shells that way. But luckily in his approach he dodged one shot of the T-34 and is able to get into a good position in order to spot out the final few enemy tanks with enough cover to retreat after, just racking up some assist damage instead. However, he might have done some more damage right here, because he doesn't check the outlines of the enemy tanks, or he has those disabled, which I hope he doesn't. This way you cannot be sure if enemies are or aren't aiming at you. So if he could have used that, realized that enemies weren't aiming at him, he might have done some extra damage right there. But still, that's the game, and he still did quite a significant amount of damage in this tank. So with the combined damage, this is an ace tanker for the 1357 alongside with a high caliber with over 2600 damage. He accumulated over 1600 base experience, a little bit less than what WoT had achieved, but it's something different to watch at. It's still something interesting. What is really interesting is the amount of credits he earned with a premium tank is of course a profit, and he didn't really fire that much APCR shells, so it is even a fair amount of profit alongside with his premium account. But the interesting part of this particular replay is that I made a lot more criticism than I would usually do on this series, because I saw quite some mistakes being made. But there were also some good points, of course. I mean, trading against the enemy light tanks is something that this tank can do very efficiently, and NPNL took advantage of that, and also playing it safer in the final encounter. But it is the whole mentality that NPNL has in regards of battle flow that I took a particular criticism at. Going a little bit too far into enemy territory, putting himself in a crossfire, being way too aggressive at the beginning, and after that he gets himself a little bit humbled and actually does not do anything for a full minute, which also isn't the way that you want to play these battles. However, NPNL is still a novice player, has to learn a lot, so hopefully he takes a lesson from this as well, alongside of getting the praise of being in a NBTT'ay Replay video. And with that, that's the end of this video already. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Laters!